You see, this, ladies and gentlemen, is what it looks like when someone is trying to keep their job. Roll the clip.
Okay, so here's where we are. Over the past week, Joe and I have heard from so many people, from political leaders to regular citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections, and they are scared. Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit. And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike. We had not spoken to President Trump since March of 2020, other than a personal call Joe made to Trump on the morning after the attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. In this meeting, President Trump was cheerful, he was upbeat, he seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we? 5 years of political warfare has deeply divided Washington and the country.
Yeah, why wouldn't we? Well, I guess they're shocked because you called the man Hitler and a fascist and a threat to democracy. That's why people would question it. People would think you'd stay away. But let me let her finish.
We have been as clear as we know how in expressing our deep concerns about President Trump's actions and words in the coarsening of public debate. But for nearly 80 million Americans, election denialism, public trials, and January 6th were not as important as the issues that moved them to send Donald Trump back to the White House with their vote. Joe and I realize it's time to do something different. And that starts with not only talking about Donald Trump, but also talking with him.
So now the media not only wants to talk about Hitler, they want to work with Hitler. Got it. Now, this is going to come as a surprise, and we're going to get into what Mika and Joe had to say. But I actually watched The View. Miss me with the, oh, we don't want to hear any more stuff about The View, then don't watch this video. That's fine. You could watch the next video. I have a video coming out tomorrow. But I actually found myself agreeing with Sunny Hostin. Welcome back to the program. My name is Rogan, and this is ThisBahamianGyal. On my platform, I do social commentary and reaction videos. I encourage my audience to have private conversations in public. So it comes as no surprise that a lot of people in media were shocked, flabbergasted, gobsmacked that MIKA Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough said that they are willing to not only listen but work with Donald Trump. I gotta admit, that even made me go, excuse me? Especially considering that this couple was so diametrically opposed to Donald Trump and his presidency the first time around. So it was very interesting to me to now hear them say that they were willing to not only meet with him, but work with him over his next 4 years in office. These are people who call Donald Trump Hitler, as I said in the intro, a threat to democracy. I mean, every possible thing that you could think that was negative about Donald Trump, they said it. While I think that they are singing for their supper, and I think that this was a direct move, or rather a move precipitated by their lower ratings on their show on MSNBC. A lot of the criticism that they did have for Donald Trump over the years was warranted, just not to the extent that they criticized him in my estimation. But I want you to take a listen to my bestie, Sunny Hostin.
America needs a free press that is willing to speak truth to power right now, more than ever. And I think that we have to be very clear-eyed when we think about the president-elect and cover the president-elect. And I don't think you need to sit down for 90 minutes at Mar-a-Lago and kiss his ring to be able to speak truth and to be able to cover a story. So maybe they're not journalists in the true sense. Maybe they're saying that they're opinion journalists. But we have to remember that Trump is the guy who ushered in the era of fake news. He is the guy who ushered in alternative facts. I think that this president-elect, I hate to say it, would like nothing more than to have only Fox News cover him, would like nothing more than a state-sponsored media. And I don't think he can be trusted in the way that other presidents can be trusted. This is an aberration.
But the reality is he doesn't just have Fox News. He didn't do a lot of mainstream media this election, but he went on Joe Rogan and reached 50 million people.
Yeah.
None of us could talk to Donald Trump again. No mainstream legacy media could. And he's still going to reach the vast majority of this country. So I actually think extremely highly of both Joe Scarborough and MIKA Brzezinski. I don't think this is opportunistic. I don't think that this is a judgment on their character. I think they recognize 75 million people voted for this guy. He will be in power short of something, an impeachment for the next 4 years. So where can we make some changes on the margin?
I agreed with Alyssa there towards the end where she said that during this election cycle, Donald Trump, that is, wasn't really that reliant on the mainstream legacy media. He was going on podcasts and that sort of thing to get his message out. I do understand that. I don't agree with her regarding MIKA and Joe. I feel like this sudden epiphany that they've had, this willingness to talk to Donald Trump, their realization that millions of people in this country support him, even before they voted for him. These realizations, I feel, just came out of the fact that they are losing a lot of viewership, that their ratings are low. I talked about this in a previous video, how Scarborough was down, and they are doing a lot of internal discussions. And I'm sure one of the things they're hearing is that they've isolated so many conservative and Republican, and I'm going to use those separately because you can be conservative and not be Republican. You have a lot of moderates that are tuning into MSNBC, and it is quite off-putting. I said in a previous video as well that sometimes people like me will have to go flipping through the different channels just to get some semblance of balance. And so in doing their internal discussions, they are now determining, okay, we have to figure out a new way forward if we're going to survive in this platform, if we're going to survive as a network. I am 100% in agreement with Sunny. Unless Donald Trump asked for that audience, meaning unless he reached out to MSNBC and said, listen, I want to talk to MIKA and Joe and have a conversation, I don't know that I would have been seeking him out to have that conversation. I think the work should have just been done internally. Like, okay, we messed up, we goofed. We want to bring back a healthy audience. We want to attract more people to our show. So we're going to have to be a little bit more fair, give this guy a fair shake, call him out when he needs to be called out, but give him a fair shake. And that's the conversations you have internally. I thought it was a mistake going to Mar-a-Lago, them asking to go to Mar-a-Lago and have an audience with him because, listen, Donald Trump has not changed. Let's be clear. And so when Row Day comes, meaning when MIKA and Joe go on their platform and they say something about him that he is offended by, he finds unflattering, the first thing he's going to say is, oh, MIKA came here, Joe came here, they were begging me, begging on the ground, begging me to see me. You know how he goes. So they're going to have to deal with that. And I have no doubt in my mind that on some level, that conversation with MIKA and Joe at Mar-a-Lago, his Mar-a-Lago estate, was recorded because should they say something in the future, that's going to come up. Watch. So I was in agreement with Sunny. And here's the thing. I don't need anybody to kiss Donald Trump's butt. I didn't need anybody to kiss Kamala Harris's butt. I just needed them to be fair. And so being fair means that when Trump messes up, you call him out on it. When he does something good, you give him his props. When Joe Biden messes up, you call him out on it. When Joe Biden does something great, you give him his props. And I just have not been seeing that. And so I'm 100% in agreement with Sunny on this. I do feel like it was a bit of kissing the ring. And I'm going to now really be watching to see how things change on Morning Joe's show, because what I don't want is a fanboy, fangirl situation. I don't need them to be fans of his. I just need them to do their job properly. So to Sunny's point, I don't want the media to become Donald Trump's lapdog. I don't want them just kind of falling in line to him because they just want those ratings back. Yes, because people will see right through you. That's why Mika and Joe are in the trouble that they are in right now, or in the hot water with a lot of people who think that they're hypocrites. And just so funny, Alyssa, I'm happy that she's doing the introspection, but she's seeming much more Republican these days to me. It's almost like after the election, she remembered, oh yeah, I'm a Republican. On this show, you know, usually she leans very left with the other ladies of the platform. And I think she said she didn't vote for Donald Trump this year, which is her right. But it used to feel like it was, even though there were women like her and Ana Navarro who said that they are Republicans, it almost felt like I was just watching a panel full of liberals. And I think ever since it's been announced that the View might be looking for more conservative voices on the platform, now we're seeing Alyssa kind of step up more as a Republican, or seeming a little bit more moderate and giving Trump his props, because she was just in like that category of, oh, I hate Donald Trump with the rest of the folks. And you see Whoopi Goldberg, if you watch that episode, she's still not even referring to Donald Trump by his name. So she hasn't learned anything here. But Ana Navarro and her, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to keep these two ladies. I think you still need a Sunny, because Sunny represents the viewpoints of a lot of different people. And to be honest, when we tune into The View, I watch because I'm genuinely interested to see what they have to say. A lot of people tune in because they hate watch. They hate this show, so they watch. Just like a lot of you watch my show, you hate my show, but you watch. So that's what you do. But I think they are going to have to either step it up in trying to be a little bit more balanced, the Republicans on this show, or they're going to find themselves out of a job. My thing with Mika and Joe too is, you know, they painted Donald Trump as this unhinged maniac. And so I'm thinking, are you going to go and load up your buggy and head to Mar-a-Lago to see an unhinged maniac willingly? He didn't even ask to see you. You want to go and see him? Where was this degree of measuredness before? And the question that always pops up in my mind too is, if Kamala Harris had won, would we have been hearing any of these statements, these pronouncements coming from these folks? Would we have heard Mika and Joe saying, you know, we want to be a little bit more fair? And even though Kamala Harris is now the president-elect and she is going to be sworn in January, we still want to be fair to the Republicans. So we're going to go and meet with whomever would have been there, because I don't know that Donald Trump would have, you know, been trying again in 4 years. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about Mika's and Joe's decision to load up the buggy and go down to the Mar-a-Lago estate and meet with Donald Trump, who I am sure, told some folks, roll those cameras, because this is going to come back to haunt me and I want to be able to have some proof. I am 100% sure of it. Not 99%, not 50%, 100% sure. Because guess what? I would have done the same thing. You want to come and meet with me? Okay. Yeah, you can come meet with me. I'm recording you, just so you know. I ain't gonna let you know. I'm recording you though. So when push come to shove, y'all come talking trash about me on y'all platform, I was like, roll it! Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Share it with your family members and your friends if you have any. Also, if you really love me, consider buying me a coffee. I'm going to put the link down below in the description box. That's a wonderful way for you to help out the channel and help me to stay independent. If you like videos like this and you love my bestie, Sunny Hostin, you're going to watch this video and that one next. Bye.